multiplying improper fractions through modeling. We're going to use an area model with the rectangle being the key shape. So we're going to be given two fractions and we're going to divide the rectangle according to the denominator. In other words, the bottom. So if the bottom is out of 4, then you divide it out of 4. So we're going to divide it horizontally first. Horizontally means sideways. And then afterwards we'll do it vertically, which means up and down. And it doesn't matter which way is done first. And the last step is to shade the rectangle for each fraction break. Okay, and I'll explain that now as we are going through it. So here's the problem we're given. 1/2 times 3/4. So let's start first of all with the 1/2 fraction. So I'm going to split up this rectangle horizontally or sideways into two giant pieces. So we'll break it up right there into two pieces because the bottom number told me. Now I'm going to go ahead and shade it in now, one out of the two pieces. So if I take this, I shade in all one full piece out of two. Now I'm going to do it roughly here now for the sake of time. So that's one whole piece shaded in out of two. Now I'm going to go ahead and break up my rectangle vertically or up and down slices. And how many slices will I have? I'll have 4 because the bottom of the denominator is 4. So let's take this and break it into 4 nice pieces. Even if you don't draw it perfectly, you can still get the idea of how you're supposed to break it up. So now I've sliced it into 4 pieces going across. And it tells me I need to shade in 3 full slices. So I'll use a different color, green. So I'll start shading in 1, 2, 3 out of 4. So that's 3 out of the 4 slices when I sliced it up. Now the answer to my problem is how many blocks do I have altogether first when I did 2 slices both ways. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I made 8 pieces. How many have both of them shaded in? Both colors shaded in? Well, this one right here, this one right here, and this one right here. Did they overlap? So it's 3 spots they overlapped, so the answer is 3/8. So taking this one. So you've got 3/5 times 1/4. So I'm going to start with my quarter first, and I'm going to break it up sideways or horizontally. So let's break it into 4 pieces. So I'll put one big slice down the middle. I'll put another slice right there and another slice right there. So I've now broken my rectangle into 4 slices, and I'm supposed to shade in 1 out of 4. So I will take this one right here and I will shade in 1 out of 4. So as I go across, up and over, I've now shaded in 1/4, just like that right there. There we go. And again, it does not have to be perfect as long as it looks like it's shaded in. Now I got to break it the other way, vertically, that means up and down, into 5 pieces because that's the denominator here. So I've already sliced it into 4 pieces that way. Now I got to go the opposite way and break it into 5. So I'm going to say it's going to be about right there, right there, right there, and right there. So now I should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slices vertically or straight up and down. And I am to shade in 3 full slices. So starting here, that's 1, 2, 3 out of 5. So in total, how many pieces did I break my new rectangle into? count each individual piece. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So I've got 20 pieces. How many are overlapping or shaded in both blocks? 1 of them, 2 of them, 3 of them. So my answer is 3/20. Multiplying these fractions mathematically is probably a little bit easier for some people than drawing out those shapes, those rectangles. First thing you got to do is make sure the fractions is in lowest terms. That means it's as small as it can get. We can cross simplify, and then we answer it in lowest terms. So let's give it a shot here for this next one. So we've got 2/15 times 3/8. Now, first of all, let's make sure 2/15, is that as low as it can go? Yeah, because you can't divide 2 by the same thing that you can divide 15 by. The same applies to 3/8. That's as low as we can make it. But can we simplify it crossways? Well, let's look at it here. Here's what we're going to do. Well, let's look at this way first. 15 and 3. Well, we know 3 will go into 3 once, and 3 will also go into 15 because 3 times 5 is 15. So we're going to cross simplify by doing this. Divide this by 3, we'll get 1. Divide this by 3, we'll get 5. Can we do it with this one, looking at these two guys? Sure. If we look at it, we can go 2 will go into 2 once, and 2 will go into 8 4 times. So now our new fractions are 1/5 times 1/4. And that is just straightforward multiply the tops by the tops. 1 times 1 is 1, and the bottom times the bottom. So 5 times 4 is 20. And that's as low as we can make it in that one. Let's take another one. First we check to see, is this as low as we can get it? No. We could divide 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 9 divided by 3 is 3. So already we've simplified the fraction itself. 1/3 times 2/5. Now all we have left to do is multiply top by top. 1 times 2 is 2, and bottom by bottom. 3 times 5 is 15. In the next one, we can look at this and see if we can simplify anything. That's as low as it can go. That's as low as it can go. 3 and 4, nope, we can't cross simplify. 5 and 2, nope, we cannot cross simplify. So all we have to do is multiply them together. 2 times 4 is 8, and 3 times 5 is 15. And that is as low as it can go. Now when you're multiplying mixed numbers, remember mixed numbers would be like 1/2, so it's got a whole number in front of it and a fraction after. We've got to change it to an improper fraction. So, for example, 1/2 really means 3/2, because 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 more is 3, so we get 3/2. Then, after we got it simplified to as low as it can go, we multiply it and then change it back to a mixed number. So let's give it a shot. Let's change 2/2 to a improper fraction. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 more is 5. Let's do this one. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 more is 4. Now, can we cross simplify? Sure. 2 and 4. 2 goes into 2 one time, and 2 goes into 4 twice. So now our new fraction is 5/1 times 2/3. Multiply the top by the top, 2 times 5 is 10. And the bottom times the bottom. 1 times 3 is 3. The only thing we got left to do is change this back into a mixed number. How many times will 3 go into 10? 3 times, because 3 times 3 is 9. And we've got 1 left over out of 3. And there's our final answer right there. Let's try another one. 3 3/4. Well, let's change it to a fraction. 3 times 4 is 12, so let's put our 4 down there. 3 times 4 is 12, 13, 14, 15, times 3 times 4 is 12, 13, 14. There we go. Now the only thing left to do is cross simplify. Well, 4 does not go into 14, but 2 will certainly go into 4. How many times will 2 go into 4? Twice. How many times will 2 go into 14? 7 times. Will 3 go into 15? And yes, it does. So 3 also goes into 3 1 time, and 3 goes into 15 5 times. Now we're multiplying 5 times 7 is 35, and 2 times 1 is 2. Change this back to an improper fraction. How many times will 2 go into 35? And the answer is 17 times. That'll give us 34, and we'll have 1 left over out of 2. So that becomes this when we change it back to a mixed number.